Hey y'all, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? It is March 14, 2018, and I am joining you live from the ATL, and we are ready for another week of author chat. We've been quiet for a couple of weeks, but we're back and in full effect, and we'll be joined tonight by none other than the wonderful Barry Brown. So come on in. Hello, Danielle. Welcome. Come on in and get ready for a night of just inspiration. I don't know if you all remember, a couple of weeks ago we had a young lady on who had a book about sports as well and how to apply that to your life. So we have a gentleman that is coming on. Hey Charlene, tonight to give you that as well. You all know I don't do introductions. I let people introduce themselves, introduce their book, and just have their way. Hey Miss Brittany, hey everybody that's coming in. So glad to see you all on tonight. Oh, how I have missed you all so much. So if this is your first time joining, my name is Paula Foster, and I am the founder of SpeakLife Publications, a self-publishing publishing company located in Atlanta, Georgia, but we cater to all over the world. We help authors go from getting that book out of their head onto the paper and onto shelves in as little as 60 days. So if you are an author or an aspiring author and you know that 2018 is your year to publish that book, let's connect. Go to bit.ly/console18 and let's have a chit chat about your book and the direction that you want to see it go. Again, I am excited to be here with you all tonight, and I'm excited about our guest that is coming on to talk to you all. So before we get into it, go ahead and tag, share, and invite your friends, your followers, and anyone that is a book reader that is looking for a new book to add to their collection in 2018. I know I am excited. Like I said, I have missed you all so much. And I'm blessed to be here today, blessed to be joined by an awesome young man, our first male author on this series. We have a couple of more weeks, just so you all know, have a couple of more weeks, and then I am going to take a quick hiatus for maybe about 7 weeks or so, because I'm enrolling in real estate school and I need to be able to focus and not overwhelm myself. So these next few weeks are going to be absolutely amazing. I think I have one author in the middle of that time, but God's going to give me strength. Hey Quentin, how y'all doing? If you all are looking for some, hey sir, if you all are looking for some wonderful relationship advice, go on over to my brother Quentin James' page and check him out. He drops some of the best knowledge, some of the best inspiration out there. I've seen some relationship people, and some of them you just be like, really, this is what you're doing? But then you have those that will tell you the truth, and they don't care if you're male or female. So go ahead and support him, follow him, friend him, do what you need to do to connect with this awesome brother. Another one of my southern brothers, so he's gonna give it to you real raw and uncut. So if you can't handle it, don't go follow his page. If you don't have an opinion for yourself, don't go follow his page. But all right, y'all, if you all are ready to get into the chat tonight, I am ready to get in. I know that our guest is here. Yay! And so I'm going to bring him in. Hello. Please, again, tag, share, and invite your friends and your followers and your avid readers, book club leaders, all of that. Your teenagers, your husbands, your wives, your sisters, your whoever. Tag, share, and invite them. And we're going to go ahead and get it started. Hey, Miss Johnson. Hey, Charmaine. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Keith. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Shoshana. Hey, Miss Brittany. Hey, Racia. Hey, Clarence. Hey, Brittany. Of course, hello to our author for tonight. And hey, Chris. Hey, Alicia. Hello to everyone. So, Barry, if you are here, let me know, and we'll go ahead and jump right on into this. Miss you, Chris. Hit me up sometime, brother. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this as soon as my fingers act right. Bring them on in, bring them on in. Hey, Marsha Marie. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Barry. How are you this evening?
Everything is good. I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing this evening?
I can't complain. Even if I wanted to, who's gonna listen?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
not. I know you sent your bio and you sent the synopsis, but that was really just for my eyes. I like for the authors to be able to have that personal time, that personal, intimate conversation and share about themselves. So I am going to take a step back and be quiet, and I'm going to let you have the floor. However you're led, you're led.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Well, first of all, let me say thank you for inviting me to be a part of your live video, your chat with
Of
Slight Production,
course.
and and everyone that's on the line. Thank y'all for tuning in. Awesome platform. My name is Barry Brown. I'm the author of the Student Athlete Playbook, Success in the Classroom, Sports, and Life. We have a program called the Student Athlete Achievement Program, where we work with student athletes, male and female, from the ages of 9 years old all the way up to 19 years old. And we focus on academic compliance, character education, and athletic training. So we focus on embracing and helping to develop the total student athlete so that they can accomplish their goals, not only in their particular sport, but in everything they do in life.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Have you been doing that?
The book was actually written in 2014. So we've been
Okay.
on this journey for the last 4 years in the form that is seen now, that student athletes and parents and coaches are experiencing now. This version has been for the last 2 years, but we actually
Okay.
got started on the journey in 2014.
Okay. And how has it been working for you? What improvements have you seen with our student athletes?
Oh, wow. Well, having an education background and being an entrepreneur, um, the the things that we've been doing has been amazing. But I want to just set a platform for some of the issues that are being addressed right now.
Okay.
I don't know how familiar you are with our schools, not only here in Atlanta, Georgia, but across the country. We're having a real epidemic as far as young people behavior wise, as far as
Yeah.
actually coming to school to be students. And
Right.
then on top of that, actually coming to school to learn, which is a whole separate issue,
Whole
is
separate issue.
not
Yep.
happening like it is supposed to be happening. So we have a lot of kids that are actually graduating from high school and they are not able to read at the level that they should be reading, if they can read very well at all. So one of the things that we try to address specifically is character education. If you look
Okay.
across the landscape, we just had National Signing Day not too long ago, in February, and if you heard interviews from all the coaches across the country, one of the things they were saying, we're looking for character guys. We're looking for players, student athletes with good character.
Right.
And so because of what's happening in our world and society in general, from social media all the way down to a playground near you, we're
Right.
seeing young men and young ladies choosing at early ages to engage in um, experimental drugs and actually using drugs regularly,
Yep.
specifically marijuana. Um, then you're seeing young people on social media portraying lifestyles, and some of them actually being in that lifestyle of committing crimes and gang activity.
Wow.
So this does not exclude our student athletes. So you see student athletes losing scholarship opportunities every single day. You see student athletes making decisions that's costing them their freedom and in some cases their lives. And so what the Student Athlete Achievement Program aims to do and works actively in doing is helping the student athlete themselves, parents of these student athletes, coaches, and athletic departments around the world
Right.
change the dynamics of the direction that a lot of young people in general are headed right now. So that's what the Student Athlete Achievement Program does, and specifically the book, the Student Athlete Playbook, attacks those issues to try to build a better person who can actually create something great for themselves and their families as they move forward in life.
Right. So what was it that you saw that made you want to write the book back in 2014?
Well, first of all, let me shout out my brother Hotep from Hustle University and the Makeaway Education team. That's a program that I'm a part of as well, and that's what actually ignited the writing of the book. We were doing a presentation. We were doing a presentation up in Greensboro, North Carolina, at a high school up there, and right before we were getting ready to head up there, they asked, "Hey, we're bringing together all our student athlete leaders, all the captains from all our sports teams, and we would like you all to do a presentation for them."
Okay.
And so it was like, oh man, Hotep was like, "Hey, Barry, you're gonna have to do it because you're the only student athlete, former student athlete on the team."
Right.
And I played baseball and football in high school, and then I played football collegiately, and so we had to put together a presentation in 24 hours, basically. And so we went there. We actually did the presentation, and it went off very well. And as an entrepreneur, Paula, after the presentation, they were like, "Oh, Coach Brown, do you have any books? Or Hotep, y'all have any books for the student athletes?" And we were like, we like, "Oh man, sorry, we don't. We just have, our normal curriculum, the Makeaway Education program books available right now." But Hotep looked at me and was like, "Hey, brother, you're gonna have to go ahead and write that book." So from Greensboro, North Carolina, all the way back to Atlanta, Georgia, the outline for the book was put together, and 3 months later, the book was written and published, and here we are today, out here actively putting a copy of the Student Athlete Playbook in the hands of every student athlete in America. That's our goal, to put a book in everybody's hand.
Wow. And is this a book, when you go out, is this something that you charge for? Is it a partnership with students? Because I'm in Atlanta too. So, and trust me, I know firsthand. When I say firsthand, I know firsthand about our students they're going to school, and it's just like they're just doing it to do it. They don't have that same drive and focus. And I won't say it's all of them, but it's a good majority of them. And it doesn't really matter what background they've come from, how they've been raised for. And I truly believe that not only society, but social media has a lot to do with that. Because they're exposed to way too much at an early age. Like, you got babies that are 2 years old that can take their mother's phone and get on YouTube or apps and things like that. And then by the time they've been so overly exposed, it's like, so you thought your kid wasn't going to eventually find out anything? And then we have a lot of, not only that, but you have a lot of parents that are younger and younger. I had my first child at 18, but at the same time, I still had a mother in the home that was over 40. Excellent. And so now when you have 18, 17, 16-year-olds having babies, and their mother is only in their 30s, then what do we expect? 9 out of 10, that mother didn't get what she needed to effectively equip her child. And even if she did, she's not their only influence, So I know firsthand what that looks like. So when you go into the schools, is this a partnership? Is it somebody that you have to connect with to make sure the kids get the book? Or is it something that you say, hey, the book is $5 per person? How do you do that to get them in the students' hands?
I got you. Well, the majority of the ways we've been doing it is people actually just been purchasing the book. That we've been able to reach a good number, not as many as we want to, but we've been able to reach schools and things, and students, parents, coaches are actually buying books to put in their student athletes' hands. We have had, we're actually in the process of getting ready for our 4th annual South Fulton scholarship student athlete luncheon that we do for the South Fulton high schools, Langston Hughes, Banneker, Tri-Cities, Westlake, of course, Creekside, and even the private school Landmark Christian participates in the luncheon. So in that case, we have sponsors that feel a great need to contribute to the community, and they purchase books. And so those books, of course, we're able to just give away. So that's our goal, to actually partner with a huge sponsor. And we're very thankful for the sponsors we've had to this point, and we want to continue to partner with with the likes of a Nike or Adidas or any organization that wants to contribute to a community across the country, so we can actually give the books away. So that's how we've been doing it mainly. Parents have been buying them for their student athletes, and then when we have sponsors in place, we're able to give books away to the student athletes and their parents and the whole nine. So that's how we've been doing it thus far. So we actually have the books in bookstores here locally in Atlanta, Georgia. Madu Bookstore in Greenbrier Mall, right there in the food court. They've been supporting the book. Excellent. Yeah. Sister Nia, amazing lady. Out in South Lake, near where I went to high school in Morrow, at Morrow High School. So shout out to all my Morrow Mustangs out there. Nubian Bookstore with Marcus out there. Just did a book signing over there 2 weeks ago. So Marcus and Sister Nia, they've been supporting the book for several years now. And so people buy the books directly from the bookstore. And then, of course, they can go to the website, studentathleteplaybook.org. And, of course, Amazon. The book was blessed with becoming an Amazon bestseller in the spring of 2017. So we were very excited about that. But again, all those are minute accomplishments because we still have millions of youth to connect with, and we're nowhere close to that yet. So we have the team. We have a lot of work to do.
Yes, and it's no coincidence that you mentioned the South Fulton area, because I'm looking to move out there, and one of the schools in all of my research that I really was drawn to was Creekside. Yes. Because I love how 90% of their staff looks like our children. Yes. And I love how their 95% of their administrative staff looks like my son.
That's right.
And so it's important for me as a mother with sons and a daughter, but with a son who wants to play athletes but just can't seem to get his head wrapped around doing the right thing, that he be surrounded by that, because I can't do much for him, you know. Right. So hopefully we'll make it into the Creekside School District, and maybe you'll be talking to him one year soon, because he's going to the 10th grade next year. And let me tell you, when people see him, they be like, "Are you playing basketball? You playing football?"
Oh, he's tall. He's tall, huh?
Over 6 feet, about 200 and some pounds. Every
coach wow,
they are after him.
But, I know they are.
Listen, but all he has to get it together in the classroom, and it's not that he doesn't have it, because he's very intelligent. There's just a disconnect somewhere. So yes. It's really about bridging that gap, you know. And I think that's easy to say for a lot of our kids, is it's bridging the gap. They want it, but how do you get them to want it bad enough to go after it, and not just give up because it gets hard, or give up because it doesn't look like elementary or middle school, or give up because skipping class is easier than just sitting in a classroom for an hour or so, when you can do the work, you know. And then having them around the right peer also helps as well. So I think that, you know, what you're doing is excellent. Like, it's definitely needed, because nowadays these but the college recruiters, they stopped that long time ago, where they recruit you just because of your skill. You got to have the skill, you got to have the academics, and like you said, you got to have the character. How do I know when you get on this field that you're not going to blow up and want to start a fight just because he may have rushed in? Like, I got to know that you're going to be able to persevere through whatever it is. And so, I said, what you're doing is really, really, really good. Do you look to expand it outside of Fulton County?
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, it's all about our team, and let me give them a shout out real quick. Miss Toya White, she's our academic compliance specialist. Coach Brian Spencer, he's our athletic trainer. Also Coach Emery Williams, he helps me on the character side and the athletic training side. And then we also have Mr. Dr. Willie Jones, who is actually a part of the team from the clinical counseling side. So you just mentioned something where you started talking about the disconnect, and you mentioned it earlier. you talked about 2, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds being able to jump on iPads and cell phones and do whatever they need to do on that. But then if you put a book in their hand, it becomes like a struggle because they're not trained in that. They actually end up becoming trained in using technology. And so what you see a lot of schools doing now, which, by the way, I believe education is going to go totally, which is virtual learning. That's where it's going because of the behavior problems we're having at a lot of schools because of the disconnect that you described. So when you have a young man or a young lady coming to a school, and let's just say, let me give a hypothetical situation. They can do everything on a cell phone, right? They can, they literally can, they can tweak it out, freak it out, go to every social media page or app that's known to man, right? And communicate in this broken language speaking technique that they've developed.
Clearly, I don't understand it.
Exactly. That's where I knew I was getting older. I said, okay, wow. But they can flip all of that and communicate with each other in the whole nine. And then here's the disconnect. When you and I come in there, Paula, and we're teaching or we're doing a seminar or we're working with these young people and we're speaking, all we're doing is speaking regular English. All we're doing is being professional.
Right.
And they might not really understand what we're saying because of the way we are talking. And it's only a professional manner that we're acting. But they will think something may be wrong with us. And we only connect with a small amount of students in the room because of that. So that's where a part of the disconnect is, because they're actually trained in doing, actually what it is just developing bad habits. And they're not being corrected at home. And then because of the way the school system is structured, it's very hard to correct them there and still accomplish what the school system is asking a lot of these teachers to do. So that's where the disconnect is. And so now we need to do a lot of work to correct the bad habits that have developed, not only on the student side, but also on the educational system side, so that we can meet closer together, meet more where these young people are, and then help them develop from there. So that's what we attempt to do when we start working with a new AAU program or recreation center or what have you. We try to take it back to the bases and get to the core of the problem and then develop from there.
Okay. How receptive have you found parents to this program?
Oh, wow. A lot of the parents, well, you, of course, like anything, you have both sides. So we found parents that are gung-ho and that they're like, man, my child needed this. Thank you very much. And, and they do everything to help their child continue to develop. Then we have some parents that don't believe their children need it. That's just the reality. So we've seen both sides, to be honest with you.
And that's the sad part. Like, that's the sad. And it's sad because we've become such a touch me not community. Like,
correct.
And sometimes I sit and my heart is hardened, not hardened, but my heart aches because it's like, in the neighborhood that I stay in, it's an older neighborhood. So they, when we moved in, they all accepted my children and they said they're very well mannered and XYZ. And and you don't have that in all neighborhoods. You go to some of the neighborhoods that are, let's just say it, predominantly government assisted or low income, and they've been raised with this. And I won't say they've been raised because I was raised with an independent mentality, but when it got time to pull on some help, I said, listen, I can't do it by myself. No, and I take any and all help when I know that it's coming from a genuine spot. But when you've been raised in an environment where it's everybody for themselves, it causes division.
Yes.
And then that's when you feel like if somebody says, well, I see your son is struggling in math. Ain't nothing wrong with my son. You just picking on him. No, I'm not. Calm, pump your brakes, calm down. So they become defensive and it ends up hurting the child more than it hurts the mother because, let me just say, our pride can sometimes get in the way, until we realize, wait a minute, it ain't just one side to this DNA. I may have struggled with math myself, so this math that they're doing now is not the same math that we did growing up in the early 2000s. Like, this age stuff that I'd be like, are you taking chemistry in 5th grade? Like, what are you doing? You taking algebra
Right.
in 5th grade? No, we're just learning how to multiply. I didn't learn how to multiply like this. What is this?
Exactly.
Put in hands. No, what is this times this and that times that? No, that's how we learn how to multiply and divide. And it's just
Right.
like, yeah, they don't, it's totally different. So it's like, we have to find a way to bridge that gap, you know? And I think if there was a way, to bridge that gap, we may see our students do better. But then when you have also the school system that is taking more than they're giving, then the resources are limited. So the extracurricular activities they once were able to do to keep them engaged and teach them other things, they're out the window.
Right.
So now it drives them to the street to learn how to be the next dope dealer. It drives them to the street to learn how to be the next prostitute. I mean, let's just keep it real. And then latchkey kids are not the same latchkey kids when we were growing up. We knew how to go home, what we had to do, and don't go out the house. These kids, they be like, let me find out what time mama coming home so I can have something. That's a totally different breed. And don't you dare tell anybody that, oh, your child was doing this. My child wouldn't do that. Oh, okay. Let me know how that worked out for you. You know, so it's just a matter of how do we, even in building our student athletes, how do we build the parents that are not really forward, but they have some of the most talented, not only on the court, but off the court, on the field and off the field. But there's a hindrance because of the breaking that's at the home. So they got that mom that's trying to do everything that she can, but the ball drops somewhere. But because of her pride, she said, I'm not going to ask for help. My child wouldn't do anything like that. So where do you see that going to not only help our student athletes, but our students as a whole, you know?
Well, we have a piece of our program is called we have the student athlete playbook, but accompanying it, that is the student athlete journal. So that's the piece that goes with it, where the parents can actively be involved. Now, in most cases, and I've had parents come back and testimonials come back, they said the parents have read the book first, and then they allow the student athlete, their child, to read the book. That's the way we recommend it happens. You read the book together so that you can discuss the information that's in the book. So when you get to the journal and the student athletes start writing, then they are actually pouring out what they've experienced thus far in their young lives. And then by the time they finish the journal, they actually have a plan and an understanding of where they want to go, not only as a student athlete, which is the key, but where they want to go in life. That's the whole point of this, that where we're showing and actually emphasizing the fact that focus, work ethic, and vision, having some kind of vision plan is what you're going to need to get to where you want to go. So a lot of times when we're doing seminars and workshops, you'll see parents taking more notes than the student athletes. Now, that's not how it's specifically designed, but that's just what happens organically because of the information that we're giving out. The academic compliance side of what we do, led by Miss White, Toya White, specifically targets the parents. And so we want the parents to be actively involved in their child's lives. Imagine this, Paula, if every public school, because a lot of charter schools do it, and it just naturally happens at private schools in most cases. But imagine public schools actually adopting the rule that every parent had to volunteer at the minimum 10 hours per school year to allow your student to continue going to that school.
Wow.
That will change the dynamic of that particular school every single time, because a student clearly will not act up as much if they know their parent, mama, father, grandmother, I don't care how bad the kid is or quote unquote bad the kid is, if their grandmama, daddy, or mother is in that house, in that school on a consistent basis, it changes the behavior of everybody in the school. So that's one of the things that we talk about when we're talking to educators. And then we know that rule is not in place in public schools, but we actually encourage parents to get more involved in the educational process at their children's specific schools, and you will see the change. I'm talking about exponentially. You'll see the change in the environment of the school when there are more parents. And that's a study that you can actually look up and see documentation where there's high parental participation at that school. Those are our better performing schools, hands down.
So what do you say to those public schools where, let's just say 90% of them are single parents and they're working during the school hours? How do they fit in that 10, even if it's 10 hours a year, how do they do that if they're working? Let's just say, and I'm just saying, I'm going to ask for myself. I'm a single parent. I'm working Monday through Friday during the school hours. How would you advise a parent such as myself to be able to give? You want to do it, but how do you go there during those physical hours outside of PTA? Because don't get me wrong, PTA is all well and good, but school is over. You know,
school is over. No doubt.
And the key is to have the parents visible during the school day. So I'm all for PTA
no doubt. No doubt.
Know, the principals, breakfast, and all of that. But at the end of the day, tell me how to be more engaged with the school despite my schedule. Because what if I'm a parent and I'm in a 30, 45-hour lunch break, but what if my job is 30 minutes away? Then what?
Exactly.
How do you, and that's probably the issue that you run into in public schools, is that wouldn't be feasible for every parent. So what, you gonna kick students out all over the place? Because I know there are some that want to do it, but it's hard, you know? And
very hard.
So, and then you also run into the thing of where you have teachers that they're not like, and I hate to say it, but what happened to the teachers of the 90s and early 2000s that, you know, they were not only your teacher, but that rule of thumb, I'm your mama for 8 hours a day. I'm your daddy for 8 hours a day. The teachers are getting younger and younger, and not to say that they don't have the wisdom, because some of them are very wise, but many of them still have the same mentality that of the students that they're teaching. So what do you do when the blind is leading the blind? You want to discipline me, but you acting just like me. Like, really? Come on now.
Yep.
You know, and I hate to seem biased against young teachers, and this is no shade, because like I said, some of them are very wise. I was wise in my 20s, most of them. But, you know, nowadays, you got teachers Snapchatting in classrooms and Instagramming for, like, you ain't supposed to be doing it for the gram, you're supposed to be doing it for the kids. So how do we break that barrier of immaturity and get back to the basics of letting these kids know I'm an adult first before I'm really never going to be your friend, but I'll be here as a listening ear. But my main focus is to see you become the best you that you can be, not us taking selfies together to post on the gram or on Snapchat or whatever else they got going on, you know?
Right. Great point.
Dress crazy. So now you got your high schoolers that's slobbering over their teachers. They can't focus because they looking at her body.
That's true. That's true.
You know, I think there's a lot that can be done on both sides of the coin, not only from the parent, the student, the teachers, and the school, but it's like, how do you bridge that gap without it being all about a dollar bill? Because sometimes money doesn't buy everything, you know?
Wow.
I mean, I don't care how much money you invest into it. Money can't buy my kid's soul, you know?
That's true. That's true. Listen, Paula, you hit on so many great points right there. Amazing. Well, let me, I'm gonna try to hit on all three of those points that I heard.
Gotcha.
First, let me address the time for the parents to come to the school. And I see my cousin is on here, Glenn Smith. Thank you. Jaquita Zachary Johnson. I see all y'all on here. Thank y'all for tuning in. Listen, one of the ways for the parents to go to the school, because one thing you and I both know is when somebody wants to do something, they're going to find a way to do it.
They're going to find a way to do it.
That's the first thing. So I have not seen a shortage of parents, I'm talking about adults with kids, making sure that they get to whatever club or whatever social event that they want to go to, regardless of their children. So one of the things has to happen is what's the priority. So if society is, if the workforce is not going to change, right? Like, that's a society issue where there should be set aside time at all businesses, all jobs, government, and the whole nine, that we should be able to take time to go see our kids at school, right? However, it's already there. They're called PTO days. You know what I'm saying? Paid time off.
Yeah.
If you work for, depending on what kind of company you work for, 9 times out of 10, you have some kind of days that you can take off. So all I'm saying is, hey, take a day off, a paid day off, and go spend you don't have to spend the whole day at the school, but go spend a couple of hours at the school. And you can do that. It's hard for me to believe, especially parents, again, but specifically if you have a certain type of job. Now, I know this might not can happen for every single parent. And of course, they're not gonna kick your kid out of school. I was giving that as an extreme example. But what we're saying is, make the effort as a parent to visit your child's school. And you can take, if you take a day off in the fall and you take a day off in the spring, there go your 10 hours right there. That's just 2 days off work that you're going to still get paid for in most cases. And I know that can happen because I've seen people do that. Now, I know everybody doesn't work that kind of job, and I respect that. So with those parents, then the PTA might be the only thing that they can come to. But they don't even come to that. I've been at plenty of schools and go to the PTA meetings, and there's only 10 people there or less. So the reality, and then in most schools, if you do have that rule, then you can get credit for coming to the PTA meeting and everything. So imagine if you come to 3 or 4 of the PTA meetings throughout the year, there go your hours right there. So again, there's ways to do this and make it work for everybody, or the majority of the people. I would say that. So that's how I would address that situation. Now, I think you mentioned something about the young teachers. That what happened to those teachers that taught us, Paula? Those teachers are retired or they have left the profession of teaching. One of my good friends. I need them
to come back.
Well, it's going to be hard for them to come back when you got a kid walking in your face telling you what they're going to do and what they're not going to do every day. Using profanity and doing everything under the sun inside the school building. Our teachers were not built for that. and so the only teachers you're going to keep in the schools right now, and again, this is just a generalization. This is not everybody, but that's why you're seeing the younger teachers, because the younger teachers are trying to get a paycheck and trying to survive and live. The teachers that have put in years and years and years and are near retirement age or have gotten to a certain point, they've developed a business outside of the school, where they're going to leave the school system if they're not, if the discipline and the things are just totally out of order, they're going to leave. That's no doubt about it. And one of my good friends just wrote a book, Steve John, and I can't remember the title right now. It's something about I'm quitting school or why I quit school. But he quit education. He left education after 20 years.
Wow.
So he had 20 years in, and he walked away from teaching and coaching because of the issues that we're talking about now, and the issues that we address with the Student Athlete Playbook and the Student Athlete Achievement Program. So that's what has happened to the teachers that you're referring to. Hey, they go do something else. When I can tell you a personal experience. I've broken up in my education career. I've probably broken up anywhere from 4 to 5, 10 people fight. I'm talking about two sides with 5-on-5 fighting each other.
Wow.
Yes, I've been involved with situations like that. I've been involved with drive-bys, like students from another school coming to the school where I was and coming by ready, attempting to kill. I've been in schools where they have canceled homecoming activities, no homecoming activities the whole week because of the danger that was involved in actually trying to have those activities take place. So when we're dealing with those situations, people are going to leave. Teachers, administrators have left. So this is real out here. And so that's the passion that my team and I have about actually helping the parents, helping the student athletes, helping the youth in general understand that everybody has a part to play in this for it to be successful. And so, and I think the third thing you hit on was, I guess, where do we go from here? And I think, honestly, where do we go from here is basically we have to get back to basics. See, sometimes we have to go back to move forward. And so when you ask where those teachers are, the only way we're going to get back to those teachers if parents, because everything starts in the home, if parents actually literally start putting their kids first. See, I didn't believe this at first, Paula, but I'm going to say this on Facebook Live right now, and I have family members watching this. I honestly believe, and I would fight people in the past about this tremendously, but now I have to succumb to it and work on the solution, which is what we're doing. But I honestly believe we have too many parents right now, young parents, like that's what it was. You mentioned the young parents. Young parents and older parents that truly do not want their children to succeed. They do not want their children to be better than them. And that was not the case.
That's sad.
So that's why we're seeing a lot of the stuff we're seeing. We're seeing parents not putting their children first.
Wow.
And what this breeds is, it breeds resentment on the kid side. And they say, well, if my parents don't care about me,
why should I care?
There's no way anybody else can care, and nobody else can care about me. And definitely, why should I care about myself? So that's why you see young people right now. You see young ladies in high school that actually work at our adult entertainment clubs. They work at these clubs and they actually still go to school. That's why you see, instead of when I was a young man and you asked me what I wanted to be professionally and asked my friends, it was nothing for us to say. We still were saying we want to be football players and baseball players, professional baseball and all that. But now what you hear overwhelmingly with those things, because other than that, we might say a fireman or a policeman or a doctor or a lawyer. And you still have that to this day to a certain degree. But overwhelmingly, what you're going to hear a young man say is, I want to be a rapper.
Yeah, because I've heard my own seed say that. So I am. And I tell him, I said,
and
dude,
so,
what you see is not really what's going on. That's all flexing. Like, they ain't got that kind of money. They ain't balling out of control like that. They broke. And they just put
the majority of them are.
Right. And it's a facade. I tell them all the time, you should do something that is going to bring you money to take care of your family. And something that you love, even if you never got paid. And I tell my kids all the time, be better than me. Because let me tell you, I done made some mistakes in life. I done some things. So I try to be real and honest with my kids about my journey, even when it comes to them. And I'm like, don't be like me. Be better than me. Don't have kids before you're ready. Go to college, get your education. If college is not what you want to do, pick up a trade. If you want to do whatever you want to do, put your mind to it. Like I tell my kids, poverty is not an option with y'all. I brought y'all out of that because I was that Section 8 mother. I was that food stamp mother. I was that Medicaid mother. I said, but the devil is a lie. Y'all need to go
that's right.
and do something. Y'all don't know. We're not doing this Section 8 and government assistance. No, go and do something better. You know, think about your family and your future, and think about how you would have wanted things to be when you were a child, and what didn't happen. Now, I'm not saying go spoil your kids and get them everything that they want, because we don't need any more brats in the world. We got enough brats, grown brats, young brats. We got enough of them. But give them a foundation that they can build on, you know? So I really think that this book is awesome. How you're working with the student athletes, and even how you're engaging even the parents. And I truly believe that if more of us can get out here and speak our truth, and I know for me personally, a lot of things that holds me back, I won't even lie. Sometimes being a single mother of 3 and I'm trying to do everything, and it's just like, It's
tough,
so, when I
Paula.
say it's
tough.
so tough.
Yeah, it's
It's
tough.
tough. And trying to build a business so that to leave them something and teach them the right way.
Amen.
Listen, I promise you, and I lie to you not, I have a headache right now from stress. But I said I gotta push through.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, and it's just like, I want them to see that. And I tell them, and parents have to learn how to be in this generation. Before us, our parents held a lot of stuff from us. We didn't find out stuff until they were dead, till they were on the sick bed, till some disease kicked in, and all the family secrets came out. Well, so-and-so raped your sister, and so-and-so molested your dad.
That's real.
You find out you got all these sexual generational curses and the financial generation. Listen, I'm so honest with my kids, sometimes it's scary. And I let them know, look, I didn't plan for neither one of y'all to be here. Listen, I was 18 when I had
real, Paula. That's real.
I didn't sit down and say, so boyfriend at 18, let's forfeit our future and have a child. I didn't plan that I was going to get involved with another man that was going to abuse me and say, so I know you whooping my tail every day, but let's have some kids.
Right.
No.
Right.
Don't follow in my step. Be better than me. You know, see my struggle, see my realness, see that I have the best interest for you and I'm not going to lead you wrong, and do the same for the next generation. Be so focused that you go and help the next person, because what you're going through is not for you. The fact that your father isn't here, that's your struggle right now, but it's not your destiny. That's for you to take and go do something with. Everything that you go through is for a reason. And so it's part of your purpose and it's part of your destiny. And I promise you, my kids are like my first audience when I do motivational speaking, because they catch it before anybody else do. And they probably get tired of hearing me. But I'm so determined not to have them be statistics, you know? And so I told my son today, I said, no matter what you do, people will always wonder what I did as a parent to create the being that you are, because they don't know how to separate the two. I can be the best parent, but you lose your mind and do what you want to do, but it's still going to reflect on me. And that just didn't register to him. And I'm like, okay, how do I get certain things to register to him? Do I need to put in a song or something? Like, what do I need to do? But I do really think that what you're doing, especially for our athletes, is amazing. Hopefully next school year you'll see my son out there on the field, and I because Lord knows I need I call him Big Rusty. Lord knows I need him to get his whole life together and get on that field. So I do think that what you're doing is amazing. So as we wrap up, because it's almost 10 o'clock, wow, how time flies. Let us know again where the book can be purchased, how, if there's a teacher watching, a principal, or an organization that wants to bring you out to talk to their parents, their students, whatever, let us know how we can go about it. They can do that.
Well, definitely. What we love doing at the school, and first let me commend you on what you're doing with your own children. One of my good coaching friends, Coach Courtney, over there at Banneker High School. He's the head basketball coach over there at Banneker High School. We talked about this right here. And this is for all my brothers out here, men that are fathers out here. And imagine this, Paula. Imagine every man, no matter what color you are, race, creed, what have you. Imagine, regardless if we're in the same home with our children or outside the home, imagine if we truly took responsibility for them and we were actively working with our own just our own children alone, not nobody else's, just our own children alone. And we were making sure that they were on point to the best of our abilities. How would that alone would change the world? So the word I'll give to you and salute you for is the sacrifice that you're doing with your children, and sacrificing to make a better way for them. And to all the single mothers out there, and even the two-parent household, because it's even tough when there's two parents in the home. It's no joke out here raising kids, because when you choose to sacrifice and you put somebody else before you, that's the biggest blessing you could ever be to somebody else. and the biggest blessing that you could ever receive, because the feeling you get from that is undeniably blessing. So, where you can get the books from, you can get them locally in the physical form from Madu Bookstore in Greenbrier Mall. You can also go to Nubian Books out in the South Lake area, Morrow, Georgia. It's in the TJ Maxx shopping plaza, the Burlington Coat Factory plaza over there in the South Lake area. You can go to Amazon.com. It is an Amazon best-selling book, the Student Athlete Playbook. And then you can also go to our website, thestudentathleteplaybook.org, and you can get the book. And our goal is to put a copy of the book in every single student athlete hand here in the United States. That's our goal right there. That's what we're working toward. So I want to leave everyone with these words. Focus. Paula has mentioned that tonight. Focus. Work ethic and vision. And one of the key things that we have to do, Paula, and I don't want to make this just an overly spiritual or religious thing, because I'm not very religious per se, but I am very spiritual. Is we have to stay connected to God. And a lot of the issues that we're experiencing right now is the fact that we're not connected to God. And so once we connect with God and we start doing the order of things, now you will see the change that we want to see. And so we're actively working on that. The Student Athlete Achievement Program team is actively working on that.
Okay. Do you have anything coming up that you want the audience to know about?
Well, like I mentioned, if you attend one of the South Fulton high schools and you are a scholarship student athlete, a senior that has actually signed a scholarship this year or are in the process of signing a scholarship this year, we will see you in May at the 4th annual South Fulton scholarship student athlete luncheon. So that's going to be outstanding. So we're getting ready for that. We do have some dates that we're actually setting up. Nothing to announce at this exact moment, but go to our website, sign in so you can get our alerts. We also have a text database line. You can actually, let me make sure I give that out to you all right now. Hold on one second for me, Paul. I'm gonna walk and grab something as I give this information. So, okay. So to get on our text database line, actually text, just like an Instagram message, you would text at TSAP1, that's TSAP as in Paul, 1 to 81010. Text at TSAP1 to 81010. And then, just follow the prompts and you'll be on our text database line. And anywhere from 2 to 4 times a week, we send out messages. We send out scholarship information. We send out different things that's going on in the world of sports, student athletes. So definitely want to shout out to Langston Hughes High School. The boys just two-peated in basketball. They're the 6A state champions again, 2 years in a row.
Nice.
Shout out to Westlake High School. The girls just won the 7A state title. So Coach Hankerson over at Westlake, Coach Welsh over at Langston Hughes, and then also Coach King in Clayton County, the Lovejoy girls basketball team. They won the state title this year as well. So salute to them and all our great student athletes. Hashtag student athletes rock.
Nice. That is awesome. So I might need to look at Langston Hughes School District instead of what you're saying without saying it, huh?
Well, I got a good friend, the athletic director over there at Creekside is Coach Troy. She's an outstanding female athletic director. Ladies doing their thing. She's been over there for years. Has produced some great student athletes over there. That's the home of Eric Berry. Eric Berry is one of the great supporters. And thank you, Eric, that plays for he played for the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see where he finishes his career. He's fought through tremendous fought through cancer, came back to be the NFL Comeback Player of the Year 2 years ago. Had an outstanding high school career over there at Creekside High School, outstanding college career over at the University of Tennessee, and then has been an all-pro performer in the NFL. So he's coming back from an injury again this year, and so we've been praying for you, Eric, and we appreciate you, brother, for supporting the Student Athlete Achievement Program and supporting the luncheon. Because he's been with us, him and his parents, the Berry Foundation, have been with us from the beginning. And I would be remiss if I did not mention my great mentor, a lady that has taken me under her wing, serves as another adopted mother for me, Miss Lydia Glaze, former councilwoman of Fairburn, Georgia, and Mayor Pro Tem of Fairburn, Georgia. Lydia Glaze, she has been the force, a force in the South Fulton community, and I thank her for sparking, because she brought the South Fulton luncheon idea, the South Fulton Scholarship Student Athlete Luncheon to the table. So definitely have to mention her by far.
That is definitely awesome.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
Yeah, look for me in South Fulton soon by the end of the school year if all goes well.
Yes,
we're currently in the city of Atlanta, and when I say it's been real, it's been fun, but I can say it's been real fun. Okay. I guess I just think differently when it comes to our students and some of the way that they handle things. I'm just like, which person in your head told you to be so not brilliant, So, I mean,
we have a problem.
I literally had a principal call me today. I don't even know who she was, to tell me something about my son. And I was so disgusted because they continuously dropped the ball on communication. And I told her, I said, that's y'all's problem because y'all dropped the ball. And she said something. I was like, And she said, click. I said, where's your professionalism? Like, and I didn't even bother to call back because I just kind of zoned out. But I'm like, I don't care how ignorant a parent gets with you, because I'm just going to say, I love the Lord with all my heart. But I'm from Decatur. I ain't always been wrapped too tight. I lived in the projects for about 5 years, so I was exposed to some stuff I shouldn't have been exposed to. So I love the Lord, but I love the Lord, but I will snap, and I just have to be like, Lord, forgive me. But they pushed the button that say, do not touch. They pushed it. But it's like, I don't care. And so it goes to show that no matter who I encounter, I give them the same respect. You can be a prostitute on the street, a stripper, a drug dealer. I'm still going to smile. I'm still going to give you respect.
No question.
But if they're not doing it to a parent who you never said, how you doing? How's your day? Anything. Because I think that's another thing that's wrong with the world. We don't ask them how they're doing anymore. Even if you don't care, at least act like you do. And you'll find out a lot just by asking somebody, how you doing? Because
that's true.
I've asked the question, they be like, well, I said, okay, let's talk about it. And when they talk about it, you understand a deeper level, and you're able to see deeper than what's on the surface of why they do what they do. So had you kind of said, how you doing? I could have said, well, it's a stressful day. You would have understood my responses to you, that it wasn't personal. I just, at the moment, I couldn't take another ounce of bad news, indifferent news. I just want to get in my bed and just sleep it away. And we have to understand that. So one day I may get into, I ain't getting into politics because I don't know how to lie, but I may have to see how the Lord work this out so I can get into school, because I love kids. I really do. Always have, always will. And as you can see, I have a passion for them.
Amen.
And so it's just like, we got to do better. We can't focus on the kids who are independent. It's the ones who are going home to no food in the refrigerator, that are going home to a mama that's cussing them out, doped up on drugs, going home to the mama that's worked all night, stripping or working the streets, and they stressed out because they concerned about their mama. They wish they go home, they flip the lights don't come on, so they come home, they come to school and they got attitude and they mad, and you thinking, oh, she just
that's real.
No, this baby is struggling when she go home. But we don't tap into it like that. So if we're not in tune to our children and reading in between the lines because they can't effectively communicate what's going on, we're also failing them as adults because we say that we're not paying attention to them, and that's what they get used to. Right. So they kind of drop off the radar, you know. But that's a whole nother conversation because
I'm about to say that's a whole nother show. But no, but Paula, you just hit on something, and definitely get you some rest tonight. Definitely, please. And I want to talk. You know, we'll talk further by far. You know, about a lot of these issues that we're all facing. See, here's the issue. If one of us is facing it, then all of us are facing that issue. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Because everything is interconnected, and that's what we got to realize. So when if we're going to put a lot of responsibility, if we're going to take the responsibility out of the parents' hands, and we're going to put it into the school's hands, then all I'm asking is let's equip the schools with everything that they need to deal with these issues. And exactly. I have not visited a school yet that is equipped to deal with everything that they're facing at their school. Because what you just said is absolutely real. But that same kid that needs that, they need the social help. They need a roof over their head. They need clothes. You see what I'm saying? They need food. Before we can get to any kind of learning, all that has to be addressed first. And that's not necessarily
with all of that. So
yes, ma'am.
How do you tell that young boy whose sister is no longer in the home, but he's still concerned about her, and so now he got to go to school and fight these battles in his mind, and then he's dealing with peer pressure. He's dealing with, okay, I know my mom is this, my dad is that, and then like I said, it's so much, and they can call me. I'll come if they pay me right. You know, I'll come in and sit and talk, and because many schools have gotten away from the community focus. Correct. And it's all about the like I said, the whole dollar bill. And I get it; it takes money to run a school, but at the end of the day, bring in the resources to give the parents the tools that they need, even if it takes that person coming in, whoever that person is, to have a designated day to say, okay, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Mr. So-and-so is coming in for the dads. Miss So-and-so is coming in for the moms. They're going to give you tools. They're going to find out what you need. Because even though they have the parent liaisons, liaisons are more so pushing for the teachers because they're worried about tests. These kids ain't worried about tests when they don't have no food at home to go to. When they don't have no lights to go and they're homeless. They could care less
about We're going to have to do this again. We're going to have to do it. We're going to have to do this show. Yeah. We're going to have to do, I know we passed our time limit, but you just hit on a major issue that's facing schools and the students of the schools across the country, Paula. You just hit on something, and it's here's the issue. It's an epidemic. And so I would love to do another chat with you to discuss those issues, because as you see on the national level, obviously that's not a concern.
Nope.
You know, it's just not a concern. So we definitely need to address that. But one of the ways we address that specifically, and I know a lot of people don't like this, but I ended on this though, because I know we need to go, is voting does work, specifically locally.
Yep.
And if we can understand that dynamic and get more people in our communities, again, no matter what color you are, what race you come from, if we can get that understood locally, then we'll be heading in a good direction because we will understand the power that we actually do possess. And even at the school level, that changes can be made, but we have to learn how to make those changes and make them stick. Us yelling and cussing out principals and teachers and all that stuff, that's not going to get it changed. Nope. So that's the reality of that. But Paula, thank you for the opportunity to be a part of your chat tonight. I enjoyed it. I definitely look forward to building with you offline and online, and let's continue to serve our communities and help our young people and our parents continue to improve every single day. That's our goal. We want improvement for our communities, our students, our student athletes, and all our people in general.
Right. You're right about it. So yeah, we'll definitely have to do another one of these, maybe May, June-ish,
That's
just to
fine.
get
You just
something
let me know.
on the calendar. But again, I do thank you all for joining tonight. It has been an awesome chat. It kind of went somewhere we hadn't planned, but God knew where it was going to go. And it just shows us where we need to go.
That's
so
right.
Be sure to go back and catch
That's
it
right.
from the beginning. Even when you watch it from the beginning, be sure to tag someone, share it with someone, and let's do better collectively as a community to come together and build stronger communities, and build our children, because if they see us come together, they'll come together. But it starts with us, and it'll trickle down to them. This has been another episode of Author Chat with none other than the awesome Mr. Barry Brown, author of the Student Playbook and Student Athlete Playbook. And it can be found on, if you're in Atlanta, it can be found at Greenbrier Mall, at Madu Bookstore, South Lake Mall, at Nubian Bookstore, Amazon, or you can go to the website, all of which has been pinned in the comments. Again, I am Paula Foster, founder of SpeakLife Publications. And until next time, I'm out. Remember, faith without works is dead. So if you're waiting on something to happen and you're not moving, it's not going to happen. It's dead. Have a great one. We'll see you all again next time. Be blessed. Bye.
All right. Good night. Good night.